Hello students, we have already discussed the concept of habitat, different types of habitat in the previous lecture. The main objectives for today are: what is adaptation? Adaptation in plants. In this topic we will learn new term mesophytes, hydrophytes, xerophytes. And third is adaptation in hydrophytes. And this topic is on page number 96 and 97. Student, we know habitat is the special place where an organism lives and grows. The habitat of plants and animals vary to a great extent. Living beings are inseparable from their environment. Inseparable means unable to be separated. We know the environment keeps changing. For example, during summer we wear cotton clothes, in winter we wear woolen clothes, on rainy day we wear raincoat and use umbrella and gumboots. So it is essential that living beings also keep changing to take it maximum advantage. The ability of an organism to change for better adjustment with the environment is called adaptation. Now, what is adaptation? Adaptation is defined as the process of change by which an organism or species becomes better suited to its environment. Now students, come to the page number 96. Adaptation is the characteristic of living organism. Now what is the meaning of characteristic? Characteristic means qualities or features that belongs to an organism. It includes those structural and functional features. Structure relating to physical makeup of an organism, and functional means having special activity which improve their chances of survival in an environment. An organism which cope well with the particular environment leads a better life. Now, cope mean deal effectively with the problems. For example, a desert rat is better adapted to live in the desert than a field rat because the desert rat can cope with the harsh condition of the desert. Harsh mean hard. Hard conditions like less availability of water in the desert. Similarly, the camel is able to survive in deserts better than a water buffalo. The desert rat and the camel are the examples of adaptations to xeric. Xeric means dry. There are two types of adaptation: short-term adaptation and long-term adaptation. Short-term adaptations are the adaptations that occur over a short period of time, which are of a temporary nature. We can justify the short-term adaptation with the help of suitable example. Melanin is a skin pigment. During summer, in acute sunlight, melanin production is more, and this more production of melanin acts like an umbrella and protects the underlying tissues from harmful effects of radiation. Now, what is the meaning of tissues? Tissue means group of similar cells combined together and perform specific function. Now, next is long-term adaptations. Long-term adaptations are the adaptations that can occur over a long period of time. They are due to changes in the genes. Now, what is the meaning of genes? Genes are basic hereditary units that transmit characters from parents to child. In higher classes, you will understand the concept of genes. Genes first bring about certain changes according to which an organism can easily adapt to the particular environment. Here we are giving the example of birds. Birds have specific beaks and claws that help them to survive in different area. Now student, next we are going to discuss about the adaptation in plants. Based on the amount of water available in the habitat, plants are divided into three categories. First is hydrophytes, mesophytes and xerophytes. Hydro means water. Phytes mean plant. Hydrophytes are the plant which live in water. They are also called aquatic plants. And the example of hydrophytes are water lily and hydrilla. Next is mesophytes. Meso means land, phytes mean plant. Its name indicates that mesophytes are the plants that grow on land. They are also called terrestrial plant. And the example of mesophytes are mango tree and peepal. Next is xerophytes. Xero means dry and phytes mean plant. Xerophytes are the plants that live in a dry and hot environment, and they are also called desert plants. And the example of xerophytes are cactus and calotropis. Now, here we are going to discuss about the details of hydrophytes. There are three types of hydrophytes. First is free floating. Second is rooted and free floating. And third is submerged and rooted. Now first is free floating. Free floating hydrophytes, its names indicate that free floating plants are the plants that float freely on the surface of water. And examples of free floating plants are Wolffia, water hyacinth. Now student, come to the page number 96 and see the diagram of water hyacinth. In this diagram you can see their roots are not attached to the soil substratum. Now what is the meaning of substratum? Substratum is a base or solid surface on which living organism grows or attach. Now, in this diagram, you can see they have inflated petiole. Inflated means filled with air, and petiole is a stalk that attach the leaf with the stem. They have long and light and spongy stem that help them to float on the surface of water. Next is rooted and free floating. In this type of hydrophytes, the roots are fixed in the soil substratum, and they are also called fixed plant. And the example of fixed plants are lotus and water lily. They have long and hollow stem. They have broad leaves. They have stomata on the upper surface of the leaf that help in exchange of gases. They have waxy coating on their surface of leaf which makes them waterproof and protect them from decaying in water. Next is submerged and rooted. Submerged means completely under the water. Submerged plants are the plants that remain submerged in water, and the example of submerged plants are Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Now student, come to the page number 97 and see the diagram of Hydrilla. They have poorly developed roots which are used only for the purpose of balancing. They have spongy stem. They have small thin leaves. Next student, we are going to discuss adaptation in hydrophytes. Now, first adaptation is mucilage covering. Submerged parts of hydrophyte plants are covered with Mucilage. Now, what is mucilage? Mucilage is a viscous, sticky liquid which are present on the surface of plants, which protects the plants from decaying. Second adaptation is poorly developed and no roots. In hydrophytes, roots are either absent or poorly developed. Let us talk about some examples of hydrophytes in which roots are either absent or poorly developed. In Utricularia, roots are absent. They are devoid of root caps. Devoid means lack. Root cap. Now, see the diagram of root cap. Root cap is a type of tissue which are present at the tips of plant root. Now, next adaptation is presence of parenchyma. Now, all hydrophytes possess a special tissue called parenchyma. What is parenchyma? Paren means air. Parenchyma is a very light tissue that forms air spaces in stems, roots or leaves. Parenchyma are specialized cell of parenchyma. Parenchyma is the supporting tissue which are used for air storage, and it helps in gaseous exchange. And it also provides buoyancy and flexibility. Now, what is the meaning of buoyancy? Buoyancy means the ability of something to float in water. In submerged hydrophytes, the stem is spongy and flexible and have a large number of air spaces or air cavities. The stems of water lily or lotus have large tunnels and holes for air that helps the rhizome to float. Now, what is the meaning of rhizome? Rhizome is a swollen stem that grows horizontally below the soil. The next adaptation is thin, small and ribbon-shaped leaves. The leaves of submerged plants are thin, small and ribbon-shaped. Such leaves allow water to pass through them with less resistance. Now, what is the meaning of resistance? Resistance is the act of resisting somebody. Resisting means to fight against somebody. Next is, in hydrophytes, mechanical tissue and water conducting elements are poorly developed. Water conducting tissue like xylem. Now, what is xylem? Xylem is the vascular tissue that transports water from the roots to all parts of the plant. In hydrophytes, phloem, food conducting tissue, is well developed. What is phloem? Phloem is a food conducting tissue that translocates foods from leaves to all parts of the plant. Now, what is the meaning of translocate? Translocate means transport. Now, student, do question number 3, 6, 7 of B exercise and question number 4 of C exercise on book, and difference between hydrophytes and xerophytes on copy. Thank you very much. We have completed the discussion of this topic. We will continue by tomorrow. Have a nice day.